My spouse and her relatives barred me from our home during a blizzard, chuckling at me through the window. Die in the cold, useless fool! I grew furious and left without a word. 3 days later, my phone was overwhelmed with 47 frantic messages pleading for my return. You ever have that moment when you realize your whole marriage was a sham? For me, it wasn't catching flirty texts or spotting makeup stains on a shirt. It was watching my wife of 5 years, Claire, 31F, fist-bumping her sibling through our icy living room window while I, 33M, stood outside in -15-degree weather, pleading to enter my own home. We've been wed for just over 5 years. The first couple of years were solid, not flawless, but whose marriage is. Trouble brewed when her parents' rental agreement expired and they needed a temporary place to stay. That was 18 months back. Since then, it's been a gradual descent into chaos. At first, it was minor things. Her mom reorganized our kitchen without permission. Her dad kept critiquing our budget. Then her brother, River, 27 million, got evicted and moved in 3 months ago. Our 3-bedroom house suddenly housed 5 adults. Somehow I became the outsider in my own space. I tried addressing it with Claire, repeatedly, but it always ended the same. Sobs, claims I didn't care for her kin, and the inevitable, but their family defense. Eventually, I stopped raising the issue and withdrew to the shed or picked up extra work hours for some quiet. Not the best way to cope, I admit. But looking back, it's clear as day. Last Thursday, everything hit a breaking point. A massive snowstorm had slammed our area, the kind where meteorologists warn you to stay indoors or risk death. I'd taken an extra shift, partly for the cash, partly to skip Claire's family's weekly board game night, full of private jokes I wasn't privy to. My shift wrapped at 11 p.m., and the roads were a nightmare. A 20-minute drive stretched to nearly an hour. I pulled into our driveway, drained, and saw every light in the house blazing. Odd for almost midnight, but I shrugged it off. I waded through thigh-high snow to the front door. My key didn't work. I tried again. Nothing. I double-checked, right house, right key. I knocked, waited, pounded harder. Finally, I saw a shadow behind the frosted glass. The porch light snapped on and Claire peeked through the window by the door. Relief hit me until I saw her face. She wasn't worried. She looked entertained. I gestured for her to unlock the door. She shook her head. Confused, I dialed her. She answered, but stayed silent. Claire, the door's jammed and my key's useless. Let me in. It's freezing. So here's the thing, she said, her tone oddly relaxed. We swapped the locks today. You... What? Why didn't you tell me? River thought it'd be hilarious. I gaped at her through the window, expecting a joke. There wasn't one. Claire, it's -15, and there's 2 feet of snow. Let me in. That's when her brother appeared, clutching a beer and grinning like he was watching a sitcom. Sorry, man, he said, loud enough to hear through the glass. No outsiders tonight. Family meeting. Kin only. I stood there, dumbfounded. I looked at Claire, waiting for her to shut him down to unlock the door. Instead, she giggled. Actually giggled. Her parents materialized behind them, both smirking. Her dad raised his whiskey glass in a fake salute. Claire, I said, my voice trembling from cold and fury. This isn't a game. Open the door. Maybe crash at a buddy's place, she suggested, like she was asking me to grab bread from the shop. We're discussing the house situation. Family only. I am family. I'm your husband. This is my home too. That's when River leaned closer, his breath clouding the glass, and said words I'll never unhear. Die in the cold, useless fool. Claire didn't correct him, didn't look ashamed. She nodded and laughed, then she fist-bumped him. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds, my phone at 2%, my car low on fuel, in the worst blizzard our region had seen in years. Something in me shattered, or maybe clicked into place. Hard to describe. I didn't scream or hammer the door. I just turned, slogged back to my car, and drove off. My phone died before I could contact anyone. The roads were now nearly undrivable in spots. I found a 24-hour diner with power and sat there sipping coffee till dawn, using their landline to reach my friend Marcus. He offered his couch, no questions asked. I spent 3 days at Marcus's place, totally disconnected. No social media, no ties to my usual life. I needed space to think, to digest what happened. On Sunday night, I powered up my old phone. 47 messages. Not a typo. 47 texts, voicemails, and DMs across platforms. The first few were irritated. Real mature, Theo. Stop overreacting and come back. Mom and Dad say you're being absurd, then worried. Where are you? Just tell us you're safe. Then frantic. Theo, this isn't funny. We've called your friends. Please answer. The latest were pure desperation. Please come home. I'm sorry, it was a prank. River feels awful. We're all worried. My favorite was from Claire's mom. We didn't mean for you to actually leave. Come back so we can sort this out as family. As family? The same family that locked me out in a deadly storm and laughed. I've never been one for drama or grand gestures. I'm the guy who compromises, who keeps the peace. The guy who let his in-laws overrun his home for 18 months without drawing a line. But that night, freezing in the snow, watching my wife mock me through the glass, something shifted. I texted Claire one line. We need to talk. Meet me at Starbucks tomorrow. Noon. Alone. I spent 3 days planning what to say, what's next, and facing the truth about my marriage. I learned something key. Revenge isn't dished out cold. It's delivered with precision. Wow. I didn't expect my post to explode like this. My notifications are chaos. Thanks for all the support and advice. Your comments have made me feel less insane about this mess. Many of you asked about the Starbucks meeting and what went down during my 3-day absence. Here's the update. When I left my house that night, my mind was numb except for one thought. Don't let them see you crack. I sat in my car for about 15 minutes, heater blasting, staring at my hands clenched on the wheel till my knuckles paled. I didn't cry, didn't slam the dash, I just was. The roads were deadly. Abandoned cars in ditches bad. I found a 24-hour diner called Sal's with power. It was nearly empty save for 2 drivers and a server who looked done with life. I ordered coffee and sat in a corner booth, trying to wrap my head around what happened. My phone died around 1 a.m., probably a blessing. I didn't want to see whatever nonsense Claire or her family might have sent. I stayed till sunrise, nursing the same coffee for hours while the server, Lila, a total gem, kept topping it off for free. At dawn, I used the diner's phone to call Marcus. We hadn't hung out much since Claire's family moved in. They disliked him after he called them out for dominating my birthday dinner last year. Marcus didn't pry when I called, just said, "Come over." Doors open. "I'll cook breakfast." That's when things got real. At Marcus's, I did 3 big things. 1, I got a new phone with a new number. Kept the old one to check messages but didn't reply. I left it off most of the time to save battery since I forgot my charger. 2. I checked our joint bank account. Nearly drained. Only $372 remained from over $8,000 2 months ago. Transaction history showed Claire had been siphoning funds to an unfamiliar account for months. About $7,800 was gone. 3. I visited our bank's branch to access our safe deposit box and secure vital papers, birth certificate, car title, etc. Luckily, I'd stored them there before her family arrived, so they couldn't touch them. Marcus was a rock through this. He gave me his couch, heard my rants, and helped me plan next steps. He even lent me clothes since I had only what I wore when I was locked out. Day 2, I went to work and spoke with HR about my situation, not for pity, but to ensure Claire's family couldn't cause trouble there. My boss, Greg, was surprisingly supportive. His cousin had a similar ordeal with her ex. He offered to have security watch for them in case they showed up. I also met a financial planner to discuss splitting finances and safeguarding what I had left. Pricey, but worth it for the clarity. On day 3, I powered up my old phone. The messages, man. The first few were predictable. 9:47 a.m. Friday, Claire. Very adult, Theo. When are you coming back? 11:31 a.m. Friday, Claire. Mom and Dad think you're being silly. River says it was a joke. 2:20 p.m. Friday, Claire's mom. Theo, this attitude is unacceptable. Claire's distraught. By Friday evening, the vibe changed. 6:38 p.m. Friday, Claire. Where are you crashing? Just say you're okay. 7:19 p.m. Friday, Claire. I called Marcus. He said he hasn't heard from you. Text back. 8:50 p.m. Friday, Claire. Your job said you called in. At least I know you're alive. By Saturday morning, full panic. 7:18 a.m. Saturday, Claire. Theo, please reply. This isn't a game. 7:19 a.m. Saturday, Claire. I'm scared something's wrong. 8:27 a.m. Saturday, Claire's dad. Son, we need to discuss this. The silent treatment fixes nothing. 9:12 a.m. Saturday, River. Yo, dude, I was just messing. Didn't mean it. Come back so we can fix this. Saturday afternoon got wild. 1:49 p.m. Saturday, Claire. We filed a missing person report, but police said since you called work, they can't act. Please come home. 2:38 p.m. Saturday, Claire. Your sister called asking where you are. Did you tell her? Fun fact, I didn't. But my sister, Nora, always saw through Claire's nonsense. By Sunday, messages hit every hour, increasingly desperate. 9:19 a.m. Sunday, Claire. Please come back. I'm sorry, it was a joke. 9:35 a.m. Sunday, Claire's mom. Theo, we didn't mean for you to leave for real. Let's talk as family. 10:22 a.m. Sunday, Claire. I love you. Please return. I'll fix this. 11:50 a.m. Sunday, River. Man, everyone's losing it. Just say you're okay. Sorry for what I said. The final message before I replied was from Claire. 2:22 p.m. Sunday. Please. I'll do anything. Just come back. That's when I sent the Starbucks text. Now the meeting. I said come alone for a reason. Guess what Claire did? Brought the whole crew. Parents, brother, the full show. When I walked in and saw them all there, I nearly turned around. But I kept my cool. I sat, locked eyes with Claire, and said, "We agreed you'd come solo." She started bawling, saying she was nervous and needed backup. Her mom jumped in, claiming they were all worried and wanted to help. I stayed calm and asked one question. Where's the $7,800 from our account? Their faces. Gold. Claire mumbled about family emergencies, while her dad tried to pivot. River had the nerve to call me greedy at a time like this. I pulled out bank statements showing months of withdrawals. Asked again, "Where's the money, Claire?" She crumbled, admitting her parents had financial woes and she'd been bailing them out without telling me. They'd sunk cash into a shady stock deal that crashed, but hid it from me because I'd judged them. Her dad got defensive, saying I should thank them for living with us, as their wisdom and network were assets for our future. Wisdom? The guy can't even set up a streaming app without help. I didn't raise my voice, didn't cause a scene. I slid a paper across with 3 demands. Return the $7,800 in 48 hours. They move out within a week. Claire starts therapy with me if she wants any shot at saving our marriage. Her mom laughed, saying, "We're not leaving. That house is ours too now." That's when I dropped my ace. I showed them a video I'd recorded that night before my phone died. Clear audio of River saying, "Die in the cold, useless fool," and Claire laughing. I calmly explained that if the money wasn't returned and they didn't leave, this video would go to every relative, friend, and Claire's employer. I also said I'd consulted a lawyer, a small fib, about the theft and possible charges for endangering my life during a state emergency. The Starbucks went silent. Claire was sobbing. Her mom was fuming. Her dad looked haunted. River stared at his latte. I stood, told Claire to inform me of her choice by day's end, and left. That was yesterday. This morning I checked my account. $7,800 was back. Claire texted that her family would be gone by Friday and asked to talk privately. I haven't replied. I'm still sorting my next moves, but connected with Claire's Aunt Nora, the family outcast who was sidelined years ago. She's been spilling tea on their history of similar antics with others. There's more to this tale, including my plans for the marriage, but this is long enough. I'll update after Friday when I confirm they're out. One thing's certain. I'm done being their doormat. The old Theo died in that snowstorm. The one who walked away is a new man. The first thing that hit me when I stepped back into my house last Friday? They'd completely reshuffled the living room. Who does that when they're leaving? The sofa was against a new wall. The TV stand was at an odd angle. My favorite armchair, which Claire always griped about, was jammed in a corner like it was grounded. Such a small, spiteful move, but it actually made me chuckle. First real laugh in weeks. Thanks for the support on my posts. Your comments feel like having thousands of allies who actually care, something I clearly lacked in real life for too long. So they moved out Thursday, a day early, which instantly raised red flags. Claire's family never beats deadlines. They're the type to milk every second and then beg for more time. I brought Marcus to inspect the place first in case they'd wrecked it. The house was strange. Not trashed, but not how I left it. Beyond the furniture shuffle, there were petty jabs. The thermostat was cranked to 61 degrees. Claire knew I preferred 67. All family photos were gone, but only our wedding ones. My Xbox was there, but my game saves were wiped. Super petty. The fridge was bare, not even ketchup left. They'd swapped every bulb for those stark white ones I despise. Nothing worth police attention, but a clear parting shot. The oddest find was a letter from Claire on the counter. Not an apology or farewell. A freaking invoice. She'd listed her share of household costs for 5 years, claiming we were square for the $7,800. I snapped a pic and posted it to my Instagram story. The reactions were insane. I texted Claire to meet at a park the next day. Neutral ground. Public space. No chance of her dragging the whole posse again. She agreed instantly. When we met, she looked diminished. Not just upset, but deflated. She started crying before I sat on the bench. This time, her tears left me cold. Wild how that changes. Tears used to make me grovel instantly. Now I just waited for her to compose herself. The talk was surprisingly civil. She admitted her family had controlled her for years, but she'd allowed it. The money? Her parents had bet on a dodgy crypto scheme that tanked. They'd guilted her for months, saying they'd moved in to support us, so we owed them. The lockout was River's brainchild, a loyalty test. He'd convinced Claire I was too self-reliant and needed humbling. The lock change was meant to be brief, just to teach me to respect their family order. Yes, he said, family order. What is this? A mob movie? Claire swore she didn't expect me to be stranded all night, especially in the storm. She said she fought them after I left but lacked the guts to stand firm when it counted. I asked the question gnawing at me. Was our marriage ever real, or was I just a bank and landlord for her family? Her answer was messy. She said she loved me but admitted she picked me partly because I was dependable and easy to sway. Her words, "I knew you'd cave if I cried hard enough." That stung worse than the lockout somehow. I told her I wanted a divorce. She wasn't shocked, just asked if she could change my mind. I said no. Here's where it gets juicy. Remember Claire's Aunt Nora? She was ousted years ago for refusing to let Claire's parents control her money and choices. I'd only met her once at our wedding, where Claire's parents kept us apart. During my vanishing act, I found Nora on Facebook and messaged her. She dished on the family's long pattern of financial scams and emotional coercion. My ordeal wasn't unique. It was their MO. Nora had a genius idea. Confront them all at their big monthly family supper. She'd been reconnecting with cousins fed up with Claire's parents but too scared to speak out. So last Sunday, I crashed the dinner at Claire's grandparents' house with Nora for backup. Their faces when we walked in? Epic. Claire's mom choked on her drink. Her dad blanched. River tried to bolt, but his girlfriend, who I always liked, made him stay. I didn't shout or make a spectacle. I laid it all out calmly. The lockout, the stolen cash, years of control. I played the video of them mocking me in the snow. Then Nora shared her story, which echoed mine. The extended family was clueless about this. Claire's grandparents were appalled. Her cousins were texting up a storm, probably live updating their chat. Her Uncle James stood and said he'd faced similar treatment years back, but thought he was alone. One by one, relatives shared tales of Claire's parents' manipulation. It was like a dam breaking. Years of buried grudges spilled out. The highlight? River caved under pressure and admitted the lockout was a deliberate push to oust me for good. His girlfriend dumped him right there and asked to ride back with me and Nora. We said sure. Claire's parents tried to seize control. Her dad yelled for everyone to settle down, claiming I was twisting things. No one bit. Her mom tried pinning it on Claire for botching the situation. That blew up when Claire finally stood up to them. She said she was done being their pawn and lost her marriage because of their games. She threw her phone at her dad, saying she'd block them until they got therapy. I didn't stay for the aftermath, said my piece, helped Nora reconnect with kin who valued her, and left with my head high. That was 2 weeks ago. Divorce papers are filed. Claire didn't fight it. I've revamped the house, new paint, rearranged furniture, even adopted a laid-back pit mix named Rusty, who loves my armchair as much as I do. Claire's parents skipped town to visit relatives, aka dodge family disgrace. River lost his job for unrelated reasons. Karma's brutal. Nora and I are tight now. She's been a lifeline. I've reconnected with friends Claire's family alienated. The strangest part? Claire stopped by yesterday for her last belongings. She seemed truer, more herself somehow. She's in therapy and crashing with a cousin. She apologized again, not to win me back, but because she meant it. For a moment, I wondered what could have been if she'd grown a spine years ago. But that passed fast. Some bridges, once torched, stay burned. It's been a month since I stood freezing in that blizzard, watching my wife mock me through a window. My life's unrecognizable now, not ideal. My sink's dripping, and I still can't cook for one. But it's mine. I don't know what's next, but for the first time in years, I'm stoked to find out. Thank you for watching Story. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more real-life stories.